Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have my first book haul of the year. And I'm not very good at summarizing books, so I will read the synopsis or part of the synopsis for each book. The first book is Crave by Tracy Wolff. My whole world changed when I stepped inside the academy. Nothing is right about this place or the other students in it. Here I am a mere mortal among gods or monsters. I still can't decide which of these warring factions I belong to, if I belong at all. I only know the one thing that unites them is their hatred of me. Then there's Jackson Vega, a vampire with deadly secrets who hasn't felt anything for 100 years. But there's something about him that calls to me. Something broken in him that somehow fits with what's broken in me, which could spell death for us all. The next book is The Wolf by J.R. Ward. Rio Hernandez Guerrero has been working undercover to bring down Caldwell's worst drug lord, the elusive and sadistic Mozart. She knows she's finally getting close to him when she's ordered to negotiate a massive deal with a shadowy supplier. But what shows up at the meeting is nothing what she expects. Betrayed by his clan, Lucan was locked up decades ago for the crime of being both wolven and vampire, forced to engage in drug dealing by the prison camp's depot. He is not looking for anything more complicated than his cold and isolated life. But then a human woman with a stare that tames him crosses his path. Rio captures a predator's heart, but they both have secrets that threaten not only their fate as soulmates, but their very lives. Will they find a way to win at the deadly game they're both playing, or will their inner natures shatter their love? The next book I have is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. This is such a pretty cover. One island, 6 visitors, and countless secrets. Beautiful, wild, and strange, Miro Island is a desolate spot in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with a mysterious history of shipwrecks, cannibalism, and even rumors of murder. It's the perfect destination for the most adventurous traveler to escape anything except the truth. Six stunning 20-somethings are about to embark on a blissful, free-spirited journey, one filled with sun-drenched days and intoxicating nights. But as it becomes clear that the group is even more cut off from civilization than they initially thought, it starts to feel like the island itself is closing in, sending them on a dangerous spiral of discovery. When one person goes missing and another turns up dead, the remaining friends wonder what dark currents lie beneath this impenetrable paradise, and who else will be swept under its secluded chaos. With its island gothic sensibility, sexy suspense, and spine-tingling reimagining of an Agatha Christie classic, Reckless Girls will wreck you. The next book I have is The Magnolia Palace by Fiona Davis. I love this cover too. 8 months since losing her mother in the Spanish flu outbreak of 1919, 21-year-old Lillian Carter's life has completely fallen apart. For the past 6 years, under the moniker Angelica, Lillian was one of the most sought-after artists models in New York City, with statues based on her figure, gracing landmarks from the Plaza Hotel to the Brooklyn Bridge. But with her mother gone, a grieving Lillian is rudderless and desperate. The work has dried up, and a looming scandal has left her entirely without a safe haven. So when she stumbles upon an employment opportunity at Frick Mansion, a building that ironically bears her own visage, Lillian jumps at the chance. But the longer she works as a private secretary to the imperious and demanding Helen Frick, the daughter and heiress of industrialist and art patron Henry Clay Frick, the more deeply her life gets intertwined with that of the family, pulling her into a tangled web of romantic trysts, stolen jewels, and family drama that runs so deep the stakes may just be life or death. Nearly 50 years later, English model Veronica Weber has her own chance to make her career and with it earn the money she needs to support her family back home within the walls of the former Frick residence, now converted into one of New York City's most impressive museums. But when she along with a charming intern budding art curator named Joshua, is dismissed from the Vogue shoot taking place at the Frick Collection, she chances upon a series of hidden messages in the museum. Messages that will lead her and Joshua on a hunt that could not only solve Veronica's financial woes, but could finally reveal the truth behind a decades-old murder in the infamous Frick family. The next book I have is Wolf Song by T.J. Klune. And this one I think is Gay Shapeshifters, I think. Ox was 12 when his daddy taught him a very valuable lesson. He said that Ox wasn't worth anything and people would never understand him. Then he left. Ox was 16 when he met the boy on the road. The boy who talked and talked and talked. Ox found out later the boy hadn't spoken in almost 2 years before that day. And the boy belonged to a family who had moved into the house at the end of the lane. Ox was 17 when he found out the boy's secret, and it painted the world around him in colors of red and orange and violet, of alpha and beta and omega. Ox was 23 when murder came to town and tore a hole in his head and heart. The boy chased after the monster with revenge in his blood-red eyes, leaving Ox behind to pick up the pieces. It's been 3 years since that fateful day, and the boy is back, except now he's a man, and Ox can no longer ignore the song that howls between them. The next book is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Two men in love with her. The whole land fears her. Only she can save them all. In a world without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She comes not to kill the vicious king who rules from his throne of glass, but to win her freedom. If she defeats 23 killers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she will be released from prison to serve as the king's champion. Her name is Selena Sodorthian. I think I said that right. The crown prince will provoke her. The captain of the guard will protect her. And a princess from a faraway land will befriend her. But something evil dwells in the castle, and it's there to kill. When her competitors start dying, one by one, Selena's fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival, and a desperate quest to root out the evil before it destroys her world. I'm definitely intrigued by that. The next book is Under Major Domo Minor by Patrick DeWitt. Friendless and loveless, young and aimless, Lucy Minor is the resident odd duck in his bucolic hamlet of Bury, something. A weakling and compulsive liar in a town famous for producing brutish giants. When Lucy finds employment as under Major Domo, assisting the Major Domo of a remote, foreboding castle, he soon discovers the place harbors many dark secrets, not least of which is the whereabouts of the castle's master, Baron von Oaks. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Along the way, he encounters thieves, madmen, aristocrats, and Clara, a delicate beauty for whose love he must compete. Thus begins a tale of theft, heartbreak, mystery, and cold-blooded murder, in which every aspect of humanity is laid bare for our hero to observe. Under Major Domo Minor is an adventure story, a fable without a moral, an ink-black comedy of manners, and a love story. And Lucy must be careful, for love is a violent thing. The next book is Peach Blossom Spring by Melissa Fu. It is 1938 in China, and Mei Lin, a young wife, has a bright future. But when the Japanese army approaches, Mei Lin and her 4-year-old son Renshu are forced to flee their home, relying on little but their wits and a beautifully illustrated hand scroll filled with ancient fables that offer solace and wisdom. They must travel through a ravaged country seeking refuge. Years later, Renshu has settled in America as Henry Dao, though his daughter Lily is desperate to understand her heritage. He refuses to talk about his childhood. How can he keep his family safe in this new land when the weight of the past threatens to drag them down? Yet, how can Lily learn who she is if she can never know her family's story? Spanning continents and generations, Peach Blossom Spring is a bold and moving look at the history of modern China, told through the journey of one family. It's about the power of our past, the hope of a better future, and this haunting question: what would it mean to finally be home? And the last book in this haul is The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I think I said the name right. This story is about wealthy Washington suburbanites Marissa and Matthew Bishop seem to have it all, until Marissa is unfaithful. Beneath the veneer of perfection is a relationship riven by work and a lack of intimacy. Marissa wants to repair things for the sake of their 8-year-old son, and because she loves her husband. Enter Avery Chambers. Avery is a therapist who lost her professional license. Still, it doesn't stop her from counseling those in crisis, though they have to adhere to her unorthodox methods. And the bishops are desperate. When they glide through Avery's door and Marissa reveals her infidelity, all three are set on a collision course because the biggest secrets in the room are still hidden. And it's no longer simply a marriage that's in danger. The golden couple perfection is deceiving. This book sounds so interesting. Thank you for watching.